I know, I know, I'm a year late. In fact, to the exact day. But you know what? Game is still fun. I'm still freaking enjoying it. So let's hit them streets. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka the NYC Geek, aka TNG, aka the guy who's finding out one of the best things of being a streamer over on twitch.tv/slash the NYC Geek, shameless plug, is that I'm trying out a lot of the games that I ordinarily wouldn't have thought to or never had the time to. And this game was one of them. Now, I know Genshin Impact is exactly 1 year old today. I'm pretty sure it came out September 28th. But I got to finally play it on stream this past Monday, and I want to give you all my first impressions. Now, before I go into it, please remember, if you're enjoying the content so far and you want to see more of it, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you got some time, just saying, hop on over to Twitch, where I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And while you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheNYCGeek. But all right, enough of my crap. I'm sorry. So, Genshin Impact. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably at least heard this game before. It was released last year, back in September, on mobile platforms, Windows, and I believe PS4. And it still remains. It was and still remains a huge hit. It has kept that momentum going. The game blew up and it never stopped. It never dropped the ball. As new people still joining, like my wife, who was the one who got me into it, and because I had heard of it, but I had never bothered to really, like I said, look into it. And I saw her playing it on her phone. I was like, yo, that game looks pretty good. All right, let me check that out. So I just started Monday, like I said, and the game takes place in this fantasy world called Teyvat. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's the home to 7 different nations, and each of them has their own element that's associated with the nation and a god that rules that element. And you are a character known as the Traveler. Who, as you would imagine by the name, you travel across different worlds. I don't know why you travel across the world. I don't know if they tell you that later on in the story, but that's what you do. You and your twin, the two of you travel across the worlds. And at the beginning of the game, you get fucked up by some lady, and you have to pick a twin because she takes your sibling, she abducts them, and then she tosses your ass into the world of Teyvat. So you got to find your twin, find out who this lady is, why she whooped your ass, and while you're doing that, you're getting wrapped up in the whole different affairs of the 7 nations. Now, this is an action RPG open world where you control up to 4 interchangeable characters in a party. You can switch between them either for like map interactions or combat, and that's crucial because different characters have different elements that they can like chain together, and that's actually really fun. And that's one of the first things that I want to praise, and that's the gameplay. I love it. I love exploration. I always feels like there's something up ahead that makes me want to go and be like, all right, I'm gonna stop as soon as I get that treasure chest. I'll stop. And I can't tell you, I literally played. I think I was supposed to stop on Monday midnight, and I played like an extra 3-4 hours just because I kept going. Like, let me just do one more quest. Let me go explore that little teleporter waypoint or so forth. So, big props to that. And there's gonna be, hold on, before I even hear it. Yes, a lot of people before and still draw comparisons to Breath of the Wild because there's exploration and climbing and swimming and you have a stamina wheel. But I hate to fucking break it to y'all, but Breath of the Wild is not the fucking first open world game to do that kind of stuff. It may have been revolutionary to the Zelda series, but it was not unique. So the grief that people give Genshin Impact for cribbing some of that stuff is a little fucking ridiculous. Like, calm the fuck down. Nintendo doesn't own climbing mountains or swimming through water or having a stamina wheel. It doesn't. Just fucking doesn't. They own a lot of shit, but not that stuff. There's a multiplayer mode too where you can co-op with 3 other players and you tackle like domains, which is kind of like their dungeons. I haven't got to do any of that yet, unfortunately. I'm not at that portion, like I said, but that's another plus for the game. And another big one for me is that it's cross-platform. So you could play if your buddy has it on PC and like my wife is playing it on her phone. You guys could play. We could play with each other. You guys could play with your buddies on whatever platform it's on. I think that's great. More cross platform in gaming, please, please. The graphics, come on. I even got to tell you, like I said in my Tales of Arise video, your boy is a huge weeb. Obviously, that art style is immediately going to call to me. There's skins for some of the characters. I haven't really been drawn into that rabbit hole. And I'll touch on the whole monetization aspect a little later. But, the art style, I like it. I like anime style. So, going to be, key for me. Next up is the audio. The music's okay. Sometimes it's a little quiet for me. Like just empty space when I'm exploring. And I remember that was something that I felt with like Breath of the Wild. It was the same kind of thing. But nothing that blows my socks off. The sound effects are on point. The voice acting is fine. I'm playing on the Japanese voice acting, so I can't attest to any of the English dubbing for the original cast. But I'm digging the Japanese cast. All around, I'd say it's average to good. There's nothing that's like making me go like, whoa, like Ghost of Tsushima's musical score, but hasn't been anything bad either. So, like I said, average to good. Now I want to go into the combat, which to me is a big plus. I like the combat. I like it a lot. I like the combat a whole lot. Like you switch, so it's like, I said you play with a party of up to 1 to 4 characters, and you can switch between your 4 party members at really quick at the press of a button, and you sometimes can string like together these different elemental abilities. Like you might be fighting like a fire slime, right? And you'll control a water or ice based character, and like you douse the flame from that the slime has on it. So now it's all wet, and then you switch over to an electrical character, and then you like hit them with some lightning, and you electrocute the slime. You're always moving. The game feels very fluid. To me, the combat's a huge plus for it. So big plus. Liking the combat a lot. I'm gonna talk about a little bit really the elephant in the room, which I think the biggest biggest elephant in the room is the gacha system for this game. Yes, there is a gacha mechanic. You use it for pulling weapons, and more importantly, other characters. And I'm gonna tell you now, it can get really pricey, like pretty fucking expensive. But I'm gonna say the same damn thing I said with the Tales of Arise game. It's a single player game. There's no PvP aspect or competitive edge you're getting. So if you want to spend some money on the gacha stuff, go ahead. And more importantly, this is a free fucking game. And it's huge. It's not like a shitty kind of game where you're like done in like an hour or something like that. Like it's massive. There's these 3 nations. So far they've put out 3 of the nations, and I know that they're going to be releasing more. And each of the nations are huge. Lots of exploration, lots of content, events, and you don't have to spend a single dime on this game ever. So yeah, I give Genshin Impact a pass with its microtransactions. This isn't fucking EA with their terrible loot box mechanics on fucking Madden or FIFA, where that shit should be downright illegal. Because not only are you making people spend the money, $60 or $70 or whatever the fuck they charge for Madden, then you got to buy a bunch of packs on the ultimate mode, and then in a year later, all that shit is gone because you got to do it all over again for the new Madden. It's not like that. It's not even fucking close. That's not even comparable. So I give Genshin Impact a huge pass for their monetization. Not a single person should get mad about it because you don't need to engage in it to play this game. Now, if you want some of those sweet ass looking waifus or husbandos, then yeah, you're gonna have to pony up some cash. And and to be fair, they do give you some free pulls and you can grind up some of the currency over time. So that you could be free to play. So all in all, my first impressions, I'm gonna say if you are at all into open world RPGs, especially if you're looking for something to fill the hole until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, this is a definite grab, hands down. Especially because this game is fucking free. Like, you cannot go wrong with that. You literally download the game, play it, and if you hate it, you didn't spend the damn thing. Not a single fucking dollar. So I would say check it out. You might be pleasantly surprised like I was, and you might generally enjoy the experience. And I have been. So my first impressions, I think it's a definite pickup. Can't go wrong with it. It's free. This has been your boy, the NYC Geek. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and please, please take care of each other and stay safe.